So, you have advocated for banning junk food advertisements on the role that the media plays in human behavior, and the studies and the studies that have supported this theory, especially when it comes to kids. What about the roles that IQ plays in human behavior when it comes to food nutrition?
IQ in food and nutrition. You mean whether or not they can actually make the right food decision choices?
Yeah.
All right, that's a complex question. To my mind, all of us that are okay. I think there are going to be certain people who are cognitively developmentally delayed, and I'm not talking about those mental retardation, developmental problems. Leaving that aside, which is a condition. Okay, now we're talking about the normal distribution of people, some of whom are geniuses, other people who are not geniuses. All of us are designed to know when to eat and, broadly speaking, what to eat, certainly 30 or 40,000 years ago on the Serengeti. Because if we didn't know those two pieces of information, we wouldn't be alive today. So every single selection pressure that has been there has been to say, okay, well, we are in this situation now. We need to make sure we find food and eat food. And these are going to be people with particularly big brains, other people who tend to be particularly the more physical, other people who are weaklings, whatever. But generally speaking, we know when to eat and what to eat. The problem is we are now in an environment in which we are not necessarily designed for, where there is too much food around, and the food that's available to us is of poorer quality, or at least it's just differently processed. Okay, and there is no evidence that IQ makes you make poorer or worse decisions when it actually comes to food. Right. That at least from the studies that are actually that are actually out there.
See, and I guess it's also quite hard to say because you got to consider other like socioeconomic factors as well that comes into play.
That's right. So how well educated you are is a level of information, but that doesn't mean how intelligent you are, because you could be very well educated but not as smart as someone who's not educated, but never had the opportunity to do so, but is very, very smart. So yes, those are all the confounding factors that are actually in there.
Right. And I guess having a high IQ does not mean you actually know about, the ins and outs of how food is made and stuff.
But it doesn't actually make a difference. So for example, some of the leading obesity researchers in this country, my boss included, are larger human beings. Now, and in fact, I heard him I've seen him and another colleague of mine getting, who's also a larger lady, getting criticized. Okay, so they are literally world leaders in the genetics of obesity. They go out to talks, seminars, and I've seen them getting criticized by saying that, oh, look, why should we listen to him? Look at the size of him. What does he know? Listen, I think we have biological drive to eat, and it's very difficult. If you are hungry, it's very difficult to say no matter how skinny or how large you are. Okay, we're just all set differently. And so just because you know that if I eat too much of this, I'm going to gain weight, doesn't mean you can do really much to stop it. If you are feeling hungrier and if the environment is actually there.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's a whole temptation drives. And I can see like McDonald's taking a huge advantage of this. I think they're opening up like 50 new outlets this year. They just announced last month. So